All right, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, all praise, honor, and glory is to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I also want to say Shalom to you brothers out there also laboring in his work, continuing to push out this gospel in all diligence, all truth, faith, and sincerity. So, just want to get into a quick lesson dealing with the importance of exhibiting a certain level of humility in this truth, all right? Because coming from that so-called black culture, which we all was affected by, all right, it's conditioned, for you to seek out being exalted, all right? Instead of having a certain pair of shoes, you got to get the highest price, certain cars, different things of that nature. Because amongst Jake, they pretty much look down upon someone who's humble, man, all right? But when you come into this truth, what you realize is that what this thing is all about, the Lord humbling you, all right? Which is a sifting agent in itself, because a lot of men not able to endure that transition, all right, from coming from that extreme to another, coming from a culture where, it's frowned upon being humiliated. And when you come into this truth, that's what this thing is all about. So that in itself actually sift a lot of guys from continuing in the faith, all right? Nevertheless, it's a method to that, because it will be the humble who's going to be brought to honor, all right? So with that, I want to just get right into it. It's the book of Daniel chapter 4 and verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, that the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and give it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. That's right. And we apply this to Esau, and rightfully so, because Esau, Salakia, Esau is the basis of men. All right. But this actually applies to us in these times, man. Why? Because we under the curses. It tells you that we're going to be the tail and not the head, man. So the Heavenly Father is going to set us up and bring us to honor. All right. Right now, we the basis of men. You Israelites, and in particular, the elect, all right? It's going to be the elect that's going to be catching hell. It's going to be frowned upon in this society, all right? People going to talk shit about you, all right? Especially here at Great Millstone, all right? In particular, primarily here, man, because people look at us as the scum of the earth, all right? They look at us with a certain level of disdain, but it's a method to that, all right? And it shows you what time we in. It shows you where we at in the timeline, man. All right? The fact that right now you got men who are designed to be kings, and we actually at the bottom. And those who was created to be servants and peasants at the top. But we're in a time where that power is being transferred, all right? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 18 and verse 12. Before destruction, the heart of man is haughty, right? And this is dealing with Esau, which we know we're in a time where this man is about to be destroyed, man. All right? But on the flip side, it says, and before honor is humility, right? And that's dealing with the men that's in this truth, the sincere men. You catching hell, all right? People looking at you crazy because you ain't got your hair lined up, all right? You ain't trying to look like those niggas in the world. Because you got men that was here in Great Millstone, they was trying to keep up with the world, getting line-ups, edge-ups, all right, dressing up. But the sincere men of the Lord pretty much humbles you, man. Why? So you could be brought into honor, man. And a lot of dudes resist that, not understanding that this is the Most High will. This is Proverbs 15 and 33. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility, right? And that's the reason why a lot of guys will not be able to endure and continue in their faith, because they still got the rudiments of the world dominating them, man. All right? They can't just embrace the will of the Most High. See, when you come into this truth, you're going to be humbled, man, and humiliated. But it's a method to that, and it's that's what I'm looking for. That's beautiful, man. That shows the wisdom and the perfection of the Lord, man. Because if you already exalted on this side, what power will that show? All right. What power, what miraculous sign would that be if you already exalted on this side? That's going to be a marvelous and a miraculous work when the Lord raises us up, man, and bring honor to us, man, and crown us, and we the next rulers on the planet. That's going to be a marvelous work. Why? Because right now, right now, it'll take a miracle for men like us to rule the planet, man. Shit, we ain't got no standing army or no shit. We ain't got no resources, man. We paying bills. We ain't got our own land. Shit, we barely can pay utilities, a lot of us, man. All right? So that's going to be a marvelous work. So it's a method to the Lord humbling you. So when he bring you to honor, for one, you're going to really appreciate it. You're going to give glory. You're going to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. And it's going to actually show the power of his arm, man. All right? And the Lord actually give you a heads up about this when you come into this truth. All right? This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 and starting at verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Right. So if you're going to be increased at your last end, that could only mean you're going to be decreased at some point. All right. Verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Right. So you're going to be changed to a low estate. Why? So you could be brought to honor, so you can be exalted. And this is the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, and this is his strange work. All right. This is the book of Luke, chapter 1, and verse 52. He put down the mighty from their seats and exalted them of low degree. Right, man. This is what the Lord is doing. This is the season that we're in. We're in a season where the Lord is about to put down the mighty from their seats, man, and exalt them of low degree, which is the perfect work. That's what you call perfection. All right. Verse 53, he have filled the hungry with good things, and the rich he have sent empty away. He have hope in his servant Israel in remembrance of his mercy. Right. So the Lord haven't forgot us, man. All right. The Lord is going to bring us into power, man, which is beautiful. All right. And you wouldn't appreciate it. All right. If you wasn't in a lower state. I mean, for an example, if you never had a car and you need a car, then somebody give you a car, then you're going to appreciate it. In opposed of a guy with 10 cars and he get his 11th car. All right. Just to simplify it. All right. This is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that he may exalt you in due time. And we're in that time. We're in a time where the Lord is raising us up, man. First, starting with this knowledge, all right, where we're able to stand with great boldness in front of those who have afflicted us. And it's going to be manifest into us being crowned and being the next kings of the earth, man. All right. This is the book of James, chapter 4 and verse 10. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. So you see the coming theme. When you come into this truth and you begin to be humble, all right, you start losing everything. You know, you might not be getting girls or whatever you used to do. People looking at you funny. You looking like, you know, just looking off. All right. Well, you got to really appreciate that, man. That's because the Most High, you actually qualify for the Most High to raise you up. All right. This is Isaiah chapter 57 and verse 15. For thus saith the high and lofty one that inhabited eternity, whose name is holy, I dwell in the high and holy place. With him also that is of a contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble and to revive the heart of the contrite ones. That's right, man. That's the whole mission, man, for the Lord to revive, all right, and restore those who have been sent away, man. We are the ones that's rejected in this world. We the ones that's frowned upon, looked down upon. All right, your family talking shit about you. At your job, you catching hell. All right, you getting laid off, you getting fired. People looking down on you, man. You don't fit in with this society. You ain't walking around with a line up. People talk shit about you. You struggling. But those are the ones that the Most High is going to raise up, man. That's the perfect story right there, all right? This is the book of Micah, chapter 6. And verse 8, he have showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doeth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy power, all right? And that's what the Lord require of you. And if you a man of the Lord, he's going to humble you himself, man, all right? I know when I came into this truth, I was doing damn good, man. I'm not going to go into details, but when I first started learning this truth, all right, I was still somewhere in the world when I first was introduced to this truth, and I was eating, man. Let's just put it like that. But once I got settled in this thing, man, the Most High humbled me, man. And that's a good thing, all right? Because now I qualify to be raised up. I want to be able to be raised up if I was exalted in this world. Zephaniah 2:3, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger, right? So that's a part of the reward as well. If you meek, all right, in that day of the Lord's judgment, it's going to go well with you because you're going to be preserved, all right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 28. And base things of the world and things which are despised have the Most High chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are. That's right, man. So the Lord have chosen those that are despised in this world. Why? So he can bring us into honor, man.